Welcome to the Kaiju Podcast. I'm Ralph.
I'm Jorge.
And today we're talking about, we already watched it, Gamera the Brave.
We watched it already.
Yeah.
2006.
Right, this is it. This is the last Gamera movie.
The end.
Yeah, as far as the podcast goes, who knows if they'll do one in the future. But this is it. This is the last one.
Yeah.
We have now seen every Gamera movie. When we started the podcast 4 years ago, we had seen 0. So, we did it.
What's our price?
I don't know. You know what? To be honest with you, I enjoyed this movie.
Oh, I enjoyed it very much. This could potentially be my favorite Gamera movie.
Oh, awesome! Yeah,
it almost makes me go like, and then there's no more after this.
Right.
There's stuff they did here that didn't make me roll my eyes.
Right.
And I was like, that's cool. I don't know. There is obviously the 60s charm of 60s sci-fi and kids getting into trouble and weird alien stuff, like things like that, is a big part of Gamera. I think it's like I feel like that feels to me as very core Gamera, right, in the way I envision Gamera. And there's in hindsight, there is a charm to those, mm-hmm, which I do like, but I really did appreciate in the realism in the human stories of this movie.
Right.
None of the kid stuff was ridiculous. And it wasn't like...
It wasn't obnoxious.
This is not your dad's Gamera, like the trilogy kind of, like this kind of new Gamera. But this hit a lot of really great things, and even had some really great little... at least I can think of definitely one great moment of fan service in it as well. Mm-hmm. And so I enjoyed it very much.
Cool. Yeah, the whole time I was watching it, I was thinking the exact same thing. It's not 60s Gamera, it's new, so it doesn't have that look that we like. But then I was thinking, but it also doesn't have clips. A lot of the old ones have that charm, but we always get like a clip from a previous movie. Also, while we were watching the trilogy, which everybody loves, by the way, I thought they were good. We kept talking about how, or you kept talking about how you wanted to see Gamera, the protector of children, done now, and this is that.
Well, I think this is actually Children, the protector of Gamera, more than anything.
Right. It kind of flips it, especially at the end. Yeah.
That thing at the end, I was like, I was so moved by it.
Yeah.
But also so like, and so no one has a problem with this little girl running against the crowd.
Right.
And everyone's letting her run. There's so much of that.
And that's another thing is we talk about is like if we were to see one of these monsters in real life, how close do we drive to go see them? And,
sure.
And then to see these kids running towards the chaos.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, these kids are really brave. It's called Gamera the Brave, but the kids are like, we'll do anything to help Gamera.
Kids are braver, yeah.
Whereas in the 60s, the kids would want to help Gamera, but the only way they would help Gamera is just by yelling Gamera's name.
Yeah, cheer Gamera on.
Yeah.
And it would, yeah. And the thing this Gamera was very cute.
Right. Stevie popped in every once in a while, and when she saw the baby one, she could not get over it. The little tiny, which I could not tell if it was real or not because it was doing stuff. Like, there's obviously some CG tiny turtles and some not.
Oh, when they used a real turtle?
Yeah.
There's real turtle stuff and I think some CGI real turtle, which was really well executed.
Right, yeah.
just because there's certain things that the turtle is doing that you go, oh,
Well, like hovering.
that's really on the nose. Well, yeah, of course there's that too.
Right. I kept thinking about, like, while watching this, I'm like, okay, it's a kids movie, and historically, I'm a big fan of the Godzilla kids movie, Godzilla's Revenge, and you are not. And I was wondering the whole time, I'm like, man, I wonder if Jorge hates this or likes it, because, like, I was telling Stevie, I'm like, we just watched, like, the Mothra trilogy, and it was really obnoxious, and I don't know if I chalked that up to the American dub or not, but it definitely seemed more sort of childish, cartoony, really, really sort of Saturday morning commercial in your face wackiness. And this had fun stuff that kids would like, but it wasn't super goofy.
No, I thought these kids weren't annoying.
No.
They didn't have the annoying stuff. It was they were.
Even the hovering.
I mean, they start well. I mean, they all right. First, we're gonna have a kid with a dead mom.
Yeah.
And the mom died like a year ago, so it's fresh.
Yeah.
And so we have a kid that's upset, and we have a girl that's sick. And so they gave these kids real serious backstories to play through.
Yeah.
And so, you couldn't just be silly and light and getting into trouble as easily.
I feel like if this was a Mothra movie, the hovering turtle, and when the turtle falls down the stairs, Toto falls down the stairs and then gets trapped under the bowl and shoots the tiny fireball. Like, I feel like that would all be like way over the top, super wacky. But this is kind of played. Yeah, it's played for laughs, but it's not obnoxious.
It's just done better. It's part of its technology's gotten better, probably.
Oh yeah, it's like what,
that
8 years later, almost 10 years later.
This was convincing that the turtle was in the same place, as opposed to just hovering slightly in front of the screen.
Yeah. It didn't look like I feel like the Mothra movies were meant to be like 3D movies, but they weren't. Like, they have that look. They have that look of a 3D movie, of things flying in your face.
Yeah.
I thought about it too when it was done. Steve said, "So how was it?" I said, it was really good. I think it might be my favorite Gamera movie.
Yeah.
And it's the one I've heard about the least.
Yeah.
I don't know how this movie is received by, kaiju fans. I can assume that people who are in love with the trilogy may not like it as much.
Sure.
But as a standalone movie, I was thoroughly entertained.
It's kind of like, it feels like the Gamera trilogy was like when they were making the X-Men movies and everyone was wearing black and they didn't want to and they were like, listen, we're not going to do like a bunch of people in tights. Yeah. We're going to do, our superheroes are going to wear leather and it's going to be cool. So don't worry, it's not going to be that nerdy shit that they did back when they first started doing Marvel movies.
Yeah.
And then this was kind of a
like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, where it's
it's like we know what you like. Let's have fun with this one.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't look it up, but I feel like the director or whoever wrote it, pretty much the production, were like trying to reset Gamera back to how it used to be.
Yeah, it felt almost like the first like J.J. Abrams Star Wars in a way.
Yeah.
Where it's like let's remind you of what you used to like and
right
and kind of
But there's still a ton of blood in it, and which threw me off. But I guess even the old ones in the '60s had a lot of. Like,
he bled a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of green. It's all about having green blood was a big deal.
But even the dudes, the survivors of the boat or the ship,
Yeah.
that dude got dragged under in that big old like plume of human blood.
Yeah, like Jaws style.
Yeah, because
it's just like a big bubble comes up full of blood.
and you can see it making its way to the surface slowly. And you're like, oh man, that's blood, and then it pops up.
Well, at first you're like, is that just a CGI blood pool? And then it pops up, and you're like, oh, no, they did a real one, good.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, even the '60s, even though the kids movies had the green turtle blood and the purple, Gauss blood or whatever. So I mean, that's kind of part of Gamera. So it was cool that they kind of honored that too. Speaking of Gauss, we get Gauss at the beginning. We get a few of them.
So many Gausses, and those were well animated. Like, he had a really good flap.
Yeah,
like he flapped like
there was weight,
like a big like when you see like a dragon flying.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Like the wings were really like pulling the weight up
because that was a real Gamera. That was a Gamera that had a face that we recognized.
Right.
And so it was like, okay, that's Gamera, and it's like he's getting destroyed.
Right.
Then he lights himself up and basically goes off like an atomic bomb and destroys everybody.
Yeah, he destroys all the Gauss to save the people.
Yeah.
And what's cool is that the people recognize that. It's kind of a theme that comes up later, is Gamera sacrificing himself for, to protect humans.
Right. Now, what do you think? The thing about the red pearls.
Uh-huh.
Do you know? It's like, what exactly is the origin of the red pearls?
I don't remember anything about them.
So they talk about the red pearls as being those essentially, like, I don't know exactly how come this happened, but essentially the pearls we'll call them harvested the year that Gamera blew himself up.
Okay.
So somehow either he made all the pearls in normal oysters red, or red pearls showed up in some other way, and that was that big thing. And that the girl's dad, who's like a jeweler, he sold red pearls, and he'd been selling them for the whole time since then, basically. And then he was down to his last one. That's what I got from it. And then, because then later they're using the stuff, the red pearls, or some substance from the red pearls, as part of a way to heal Gamera after his first big fight.
Yeah.
When he's in the Gamera hospital.
I thought he didn't find that with the egg.
That's the big jewel.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the little red pearl.
The one that she had, but
apparently they'd collected other ones because that red liquid that was, they had those like 3 containers with like red Kool-Aid in them.
Yeah.
And Gamera was being treated. They had said something like they had extracted that liquid from the red pearls.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, they were able to either gather the red pearls again or something. I don't know.
Some sort of energy.
But that's what I picked up from that.
Yeah.
And then, so then there's the big thing, which was just like a giant version of the red pearls, essentially, that glows a lot.
Yeah. That's the thing they do the relay race with. That thing was cool. I liked it because it looked like the egg could rest right in it, and that'd be a fun sort of prop to have. The Todo, aka Gamera, the scene where he's like born in the little kid's hands and stuff. Like all this stuff is like, it's just really well done. I really enjoyed the scene. It almost called back to, I want to say, the original Gamera, where the kid has a turtle and he thinks it's Gamera.
Right.
And that's like a similar storyline in this one, but it actually is Gamera.
Right.
Which is
the kid doesn't want it to be.
Right. And the whole sort of like E.T. kind of
very
parallels.
E.T. Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it because it's like we've all grown up with pets and stuff, and so it's kind of fun watching him sort of take care of the turtle, him hiding it from his dad, and then it like growing super fast. And what was fun was we get, not only do we get the little turtle, but we get a lot of different scale full-size puppet Gameras.
Yeah.
The first one being that kind of just like a one that's like the size of, I don't know, like one of those really big old turtles that you see like at the zoo or something.
Like Galapagos tortoise.
Yeah, like it's like they just had that one on the floor in the bedroom. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. But then they start scaling it up. Like the one on the truck and the one in the science lab. Like I like that they were practical. That's crazy that they built those. I think the only time we've really seen like a practical kaiju on the back of a truck was Gorgo. Yeah. And like I know now, like with CG and stuff, they would just do it in CG, but they obviously had CG during this movie, but decided to make a full-size puppet or gigantic puppet, which looks super cool. What'd you think of his eyelids?
Well,
the blinking from the bottom.
Oh, I didn't pay that attention to that.
Yeah, his eyelids like blinked from the bottom. The bottom would move up to the top instead of from the top down.
He had very doll-like eyes, like they were like very like clean, round, pretty green.
Yeah, I like that a lot because the whole time he was fighting against what's his nuts? I can't think of his name. I didn't write it down. Zetus. I kept thinking, oh my gosh, this is like just like a toddler kaiju fighting. Clearly is outclassed.
Yeah, he just got his big boy teeth in.
Yeah,
and he's already like knows what he's got to do. Like, he's already like, jumping in there.
I was kind of waiting for him to turn into full-on Gamera, but I like that they didn't make that choice.
Yeah, like you thought when he was being hospitalized, like he's just got to get time to develop more into the Gamera that we saw at the beginning of the movie. He's got to get his man face on.
Yeah, but it was cool. It made him an underdog, and I like that we got a new monster. I don't know, the design was okay, but I'm glad it wasn't a retread.
You thought he was okay?
Yeah, I thought he was cool, but he was kind of just basic lizard.
Oh no, I liked him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked when his things
he looked like
flipped open.
The Jim Henson style monster. Like he looked like he could have been in the Dark Crystal.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, there was definitely when he was standing up.
Really good jowls. He had really cool texture on his skin. I liked whatever those things were going all the way down his back.
Oh, like the floppy skin dreads?
They were like spikes, but they were also kind of. They seemed they seemed more like thick hair almost in a way, or like it thought it was.
It's like skin dreads.
Very cool design.
I liked it when his little fins flapped open on his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like it reminded me of the old Flash Gordon serials where the lizards, they would just like put like modeling clay on the lizard's back to make them look like giant monsters. They kind of did that in Journey to the Center of the Earth. But yeah, it looked very lizard-like, and when it stood up, like during the bridge scenes and those swiping its tail, it definitely reminded me of Skeksis. The way it stood, kind of hunched over. The way it walked, the way it moved, like it crawled like one of those lizards that you see run real fast. Like it had that look to it. Not on two legs. That would have been funny though. Those lizards that run on two legs.
Yeah, like the Jesus lizard.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it, but it wasn't like. I mean, I feel like the Gamera designs for the villains are so insane. Like Gyron and Gauss and Zigra and Virus, like they all have really weird space agey sort of designs.
They're just more alien.
Yeah, this looked more realistic, but which is fine.
But I think it very much in the way that Gamera looked like a puppet.
Yeah.
I liked the design a lot. I thought he was cool looking. Yeah. Okay, when he had blood in his mouth, I thought was cool.
Yeah, that's another time Stevie popped in. She's like, "Isn't this a kids movie?" I'm like, "I don't know. He just ate those people." It's really weird. There's just like blood. Yeah, you don't see that a lot either.
So, you mentioned Gyron. The Gyron reference?
I don't think I noticed.
Are you kidding? It was my favorite part of the movie.
I don't think I noticed.
Oh, all right.
Is this like the Godzilla or the King Kong lives thing? It was like taking a note.
So in the kitchen, during the kitchen.
Oh, when he shoots the knife?
Yeah. I
didn't even think about it being a.
Look at that knife, especially because the guy picks it up, and it is so. It's like it's the shape of a knife that's like not like a normal knife. It's very rounded.
Yeah,
and it's colored spot on to look like the knife head on Gyron.
I didn't even put that together.
Oh, you got to look at that part again because that's definitely something for like the show collage.
Because I'll definitely put that on there. I saw him pick. I'm like, he blows the fireball at the knife, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. Yeah. And then later the guy picks up the knife, and I was just thinking, oh, he's wondering where that burn mark came from.
No, but that's because Baby Gamera's instincts is that knife's a bad thing, and he tries to blow a fireball at it.
I didn't even put two and two together.
It was the best piece of fan service in the whole thing.
Okay, I gotta look at it again. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I could see the shape of the knife. Because I did think it was weird, but I didn't.
It's like a perfect, it's like a quarter circle. It's like I
didn't even think about it. That's funny. I didn't realize it, but yeah.
There's another model bit I liked was when Gamera goes flying into like a house, and it's a shot of Gamera's head inside a little tiny house, basically. Oh, yeah. And like the way the whole house, great miniature stuff in this.
Yeah, they did another one of those shots where someone crashes through the mall, and it's the interior is a miniature.
Yeah, and then they composite the people.
Yeah.
It's definitely the better choice.
Yeah, there was some CG stuff I wasn't keen on, like the fight on the bridge. Some of the wide shots looked kind of off.
Yeah, that first shot, that's like the overhead, like aerial shot of him walking towards there. It was close,
right,
to convincing.
Right.
But I thought the bridge stuff, I think when they cut the close-ups to Zetus, where he's got like the two like support beams that kind of cross in front of him, mm-hmm. I thought they edited it pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah. It was seriously like a couple shots where I'm like, oh, they're relying on CG, but for the most part, like the rest of that fight, I thought it was great.
Part of it that was weird is whatever is going on, what that Zetus tongue is.
Yes.
Because that's where...
That's probably the closest thing I would get to rolling my eyes, but I didn't hate it.
Well, it got better. I mean,
it feels like when it was being animated, it was obviously CG, but I feel like they had a real one to like punch holes in the ground and stuff.
Yeah, there was definitely something. It's kind of like those the Godzilla toys where they give you like a hard plastic atomic breath.
Yeah,
that you can display him with. He's like mid firing atomic breath.
Yeah.
Basically, it was like one of those.
Right. It was I like that as a weapon. Like it just, I didn't like the CG of it all, but it was like a spike that it didn't even puncture Gamera later. But there was the part where it's like just punching through the hole, like through the ground of the bridge, the bottom of the bridge and stuff.
Like, what is that? Is that his tongue? Is that?
But there was that one part where Gamera. Oh, is this the end? This wasn't the end. Where Gamera grabs onto it.
That was amazing.
Goes back towards into his mouth and then blows the fireball into his mouth.
Oh yeah, that was this one. That's where he holds onto it, rides it up, and shoots a fireball in his mouth.
Right.
And then, I mean, just to jump ahead to later when he breaks his tongue.
Oh yeah, it was
with all the goo and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that was cool.
Right.
That was that's monster damage I don't think we've ever seen before.
Where
someone gets their tongue ripped in half.
The only time we've seen that, I think, is Skull Island, but it happens so fast.
Oh, right.
Where Kong rips the tongue. He's holding the mouth. No, it's Peter Jackson's. It's Peter Jackson's the T-Rex fight. Maybe it happened. Yeah, and it's T-Rex fight. And Kong is holding the mouth of the T-Rex open, and he bites out the tongue and spits it. But it's like a split second. But this one's like a full on it's like a finishing move, which is awesome. I thought that was great. All the fights were great, and I think one of the reasons why I like it so much is because it takes place during the daytime. It's nice and bright. A lot of these kaiju fights, they like try to hide the effects under like darkness or rain. This was like just broad daylight, so everything was like on display. All the miniatures were on display, and it all looked really good. It all looked really, really good. My favorite moment, and this is more towards the end, is the tail flip. The tail flip is amazing, where Gamera grabs onto Zetus' tail, and Zetus does this somersault over a skyscraper, launching Gamera into the structure, into the skyscraper, and then Gamera gets stuck in there. Like, that was awesome. I love that. Like, we don't get to see too many acrobatics in these fights. I think the fights in the miniatures were super top notch. And what was great was and I didn't realize it till the end, but we don't get any military really in the fight.
Well, there's this thing early on in the news reports that it sounds like they had disbanded whatever Department of Monster Defense or something.
It's like the G Force.
Whatever they're it would still be G Force there because everything's. There was this when when the dad's working in his little restaurant.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff playing on the TV that's throwing out a lot of information, but it was like a lot to try and figure out grasp what exactly they're saying, and it kind of seemed along the lines of the bureaucracy was basically being cutting budgets and disbanding, because I believe it was maybe the sense that they didn't feel like they needed it.
And they were rebuilding. They were talking about the rebuilding process. Did they say didn't they say it was 10 years later and they're still trying to rebuild? Am I thinking of something else?
Yeah.
But at the
I don't
end,
know.
at the end, some military shows up, and I'm like, oh yeah, there weren't any like planes or tanks,
Right.
and I was still able to like enjoy the movie. Like it never had a lull. It never it never got kind of slow or boring. There was enough action throughout the movie without getting tedious. I
liked how I liked the danger of Zetus when he basically he tracks Gamera down somehow. He knows where he is when Gamera's being hospitalized, and just whips his tail and tears apart that building.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. That it really made him dangerous. I thought that Gamera's not ready to face him, and he's already going after the babe.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that's what's great about the title as well, Gamera the Brave. Like it really has that. Like up until this point, Gamera's kind of been, or at least in the last three, Gamera's been kind of this badass that can like open his chest and fire bursts of fire, or his hand gets cut off and it turns into a fiery blade.
Yeah,
it's nice to see like a powered down Gamera. We've seen it hover in tiny form, but in giant form it can't really fly that well.
Right.
It really does feel like a kid fighting a big bully or something.
Totally.
The real
when he gets stabbed through the hand, with the tongue too,
and in the side and like the rib cage.
Yeah.
The relay race I thought was a really well done moment.
Yeah,
seeing the kid run with it and then like running out of breath.
The sense of understanding, this thing that somehow in the story that kids get it.
Yeah.
Like starting with just that, because I go, what? This random little girl? What? At first, but just like the other girl's panicking, she has to get this thing, and the little girl is just like, she's like this calming presence to be like, I get it, I know what this is for.
Yeah.
And
then the one kid's being held by the police officer,
and the other one's like
running by, and he stops.
I know what to do.
Yeah.
The fact that they all had that connection was really interesting.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know exactly why, but you accept it, and the music helps, and it just becomes that's what's going to happen, and then it becomes like all the kids are doing it. It's like Oh God Book 2, when all the kids in the world are putting up Thank God banners and stuff.
I don't know if I've seen that movie, and if I did, I was probably like 7.
Yeah, I know, but it's like that. It's like the fact that it's the thing that connects all the children somehow.
Right.
And the same thing, because then that also kind of, there's a little comeback of that at the end when all the kids then protect Gamera.
Yes, they make the chain.
Yeah, including one kid who really was this little kid.
The
who
little
was
one
really trying to spread his legs really far and hold his arms out really far.
Yeah, he was definitely tinier than the rest of the kids, which were like leaning arms.
Yeah, they're like, come on.
Yeah, I saw that kid. Yeah, I
liked Gamera sticking out of the building, like when he was stuck in there.
Yeah, it was so pathetic.
And Zetus is climbing up the other building and
stuff.
Oh,
that climbing looked really good too.
That was really good.
And it was cool because he was able to shoot the tongue from across the way, but then it just like keeps on climbing and then jumps to the other building, and the rubble starts falling on the kid and his dad as they're trying to make their way up. Like it was like it's like such a simple story, but it's like really effective. And it's a clever way to get the kid face to face with Gamera, having Gamera stuck in the skyscraper, and then him standing there where they just come in, face to face. Like this movie, I really, really liked. I can't say enough good things about it. Do you want to talk about the finale of the fight? Because I was very excited about the finale, the death of Zetus.
They're very interesting. The whole. Oh, I just lost it. My train of thought.
But rarely, I don't think we usually see them take a kaiju costume.
Oh yeah,
and load
so
it.
the notion that so the kid is very resistant at accepting. It was also interesting that the kid was kind of had this issue. Like this is not Gamera. He because he suffered such great loss, he was holding on to Gamera very tightly, and in many ways, like he wanted to make sure Gamera wasn't going to sacrifice himself. It was putting so many like burdens on Gamera to not do Gamera's job, in a sense.
He didn't want Gamera to explode himself to save the day.
Right.
That's what he knows about Gamera and how Gamera saves humanity. But he didn't want to see Todo die.
And
so
the
he's
same
like,
way, why he was saying like, no, Toto's full grown now. That's the biggest he's gonna get.
Yeah.
He was constantly in denial that this was Gamera.
Because he knew that Gamera would eventually die. And
when at the end finally calls him Gamera.
Yeah. So
before we get to the end, something that we have not talked about is the scene where the boys try and take each other's pants off.
Right. I wasn't going to bring it up.
It's very aggressive.
Yeah.
Very troubling. I mean, and like I said, there's a reality to this that I was like, those guys are really trying to pull those pants off.
Yeah.
All right, go on.
I
purposely ignored talking about that.
I don't know. No, I didn't remember it. But I didn't remember. I didn't like put it down as a note.
You know how kids at the beach try and take each other's pants off? You know how that always happens?
I think, I don't know. It's the same as trying to drag someone in the water, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
Is it though?
But they really wanted him to be in his bathing suit.
But he didn't have a bathing suit. They said, then go in without your pants on.
No.
And then he turns it back, he flips it on them after they bring up his mom, and then he kind of covers up the fact that he's upset. He's like, and now I'm going to take your pants off. And that's how they have fun.
Yeah. A different culture. So Zetus, they took his costume and loaded it full of explosives. And I don't know if we've seen much of that before.
Oh, you think they did it with the costume?
It looked like they blew up that costume. Maybe they had more than one, and they're like, let's explode one.
I don't know.
But it definitely exploded that costume.
It was definitely this kind of thing where it cuts to a very still frame of that thing, and then the explosion. All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's cool.
It was cool. It was cool that he exploded.
We already broke the tongue off of this one.
Yeah. But I like the explosion. I like we usually they either fly out into space or just lay there dead or turn into sparkles.
No, it was cool. I also how it was a fireball.
Yeah.
That he shot out and like using like because even they're like, oh no, this is the thing he does when he's gonna blow himself up. Mm-hmm. And they're like, and the kid's like, no, he's not. And then his dad's like, yeah, go ahead, let him go. Let him get close to that. And sure enough, he didn't. So that was cool.
Right.
It definitely kind of makes you want more Gameras.
Right. I wanted another version or another follow-up, but it's been 14 years.
yeah, I want to see him older. Just yeah, that's what I like. I like the idea of him like.
Yeah.
I want to see him become the Gamera from the beginning of the movie.
Right, and maybe the kid is like an adult now, and then is reminded of his childhood.
He's got to say goodbye to him, like at the end of Pete's Dragon, because there's other kids that need him now.
Yeah,
and he's an adult.
Yeah,
The old Pete's Dragon. I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't seen the new one.
I haven't seen the newer Pete's Dragon.
Watch it for the show. No, I'm good.
Yeah, I guess.
So, I opened up our website, and I'm looking at our top 5.
Oh shit! I didn't even think of that.
Here's what I'm thinking. Now, I'm currently rewatching the Gamera movies because they just came out recently on digital, and I got them all because they were so cheap. But I've been thinking about it. I think this is my favorite Gamera movie.
Yeah.
And as I was thinking about our top 5 and what our top 5 is supposed to be, and it's our recommendations for kaiju movies. Like if someone who says, "Hey, I've never seen a kaiju movie," I'm like, "Oh, here's our top 5. This is a good representation of the top 5. Like these movies are ones that you should see that you'll enjoy. Like they hold up today." For me, I feel like Gamera could make our top 5 with this movie at the number 5 spot. And it's really, really tough for me to say that because it is the Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, which has King Caesar in it. But I feel like if I'm going to recommend a kaiju movie to a newcomer, I think I would recommend this over Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. Just solely on the fact that it stands alone and it's really well done. And it's modern. We don't really have a lot of modern. I think all of our movies...
we don't really have a lot that I'd be like, this is a good one to show your kid.
Yeah.
To start them on.
So for me, I mean, this is if you're not down with it, I'm fine. But spoiler alert, it'll probably be my number 6 come January.
Yeah, well, either that or Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla is our number 6.
It depends on what your thoughts are on having Gamera represented in our top 5. Because this is it as far as Gamera making the top 5. Because we really we have 3 Godzilla movies on here. All of these movies on our list, I believe, are Shiro Honda movies. Maybe not Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. I don't think he did that. I'm gonna look it up.
That is hard. It is hard. Like
I
also because like I look at the list now and I'm like adding Gamera the Brave to our list. Like I get it. And,
yeah, Jun Fukuda did Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla.
I'm fine. I mean, yeah, top 5 is such a precious thing.
But there's so few movies.
I know, but the thing is, I know your idea is that this is not what our top 5. This has not been what our strategy of the top 5 has been. This has been what we like.
Yeah, I really like
because
this movie, though.
I don't know if you start someone with Frankenstein Conquers the World.
But it's a self-contained movie that you can say, "Hey, watch this." I feel like all of these movies are just they're just really good.
Yeah.
Monster Zero works for me because it's the first Godzilla movie I ever saw.
And Rodan, it just when it's been hard to unseat this entire time. We saw it early, and there's just something about it that's
the pacing is tight. The mystery is good.
Frankenstein destroy all monsters. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just love Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. Is 2 Godzillas.
Yeah. But Destroy All Monsters has 12 monsters, and Monster Zero has, I don't know. My only hang up is King Caesar. I love King Caesar.
I think you make it your number 6. I think you make this one your number 6.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't, because, like, listen, I liked it.
This is tough.
I liked it.
Yeah.
But I didn't,
I'd watch this movie before any other Gamera movie.
Sure.
And sooner than later.
Well, actually, no. I would watch
the Gauss or Gairon.
Giron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Gauss a lot too.
I'd watch Gauss and Giron. I'd skip the guy with the rainbow back.
Barugan.
He wasn't that entertaining for me.
Yeah, that was the second one. Virus was good.
Probably Gauss. Probably Gauss would be the one to watch.
Zigra, where he played the xylophone on his back.
Is that the one where the kids go inside?
That's Geiger.
I'd be interested in the one where the kids go up to the spaceship where they can order food.
Oh, that's Virus. That's the
Oh, that's the octopus, the squid?
Yeah, with the pointy head.
And the weird eye? Is that the weird eye guys?
Oh, I think so. I'm pretty sure. It's hard because this is all movies we saw once over the course of 4 years.
I mean, I think for me to put this in the top 5 is basically being trying to appease something that it doesn't have that place in my heart for it.
Right.
Like these other 5 movies are just pure kaiju joy movies.
Right.
And this is a good movie, but it doesn't hit me the same way.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I don't know. It'll probably be my number 6.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see.
I definitely. I'll have to see if it cracks my 10. I don't know. I haven't looked at my 10 in a while. I made it a long time ago, and I have to look at it again.
It's a little daunting because I already kind of have an idea of some of them.
I do believe there is something from this that makes something. One of my lists.
Yeah. All right. Okay, well, we'll see if our next movie makes our top 5. I don't know if it will, because I don't think it's kaiju related. Because I feel like a great movie, like we liked The Human Vapor, and we liked Gorath. And even
not enough to.
But there's not a that like Gorath had the walrus for like 5 minutes,
right?
So it's not really a kaiju movie. But our next one isn't a kaiju movie really either, and it's Ashiro Honda's The H-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, check that out. We'll have that on the next episode. That's available on kaijubot.com, where you can also get our links to our Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And I didn't even think about this at all. But until next time, I'm gonna join in the relay. I'm gonna be a big old kid and
you're too old. I need to go to that little clubhouse thing where they were hiding Gamera before, because it was like a little. It was cool. It was a little clubhouse, had a bunch of toys and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of toys.
Oh, go get some fried rice from that guy's little stand.
Oh, that looked good.
Yeah, that little restaurant's kind of cool.
Yeah, noticed that there was only dudes in it. That was weird.
Yeah.
All right.